everyone! This week's question comes in from an anonymous source and stays on the topic of chemicals in health and beauty products that we touched on last week. Our question is, what do you think about hair dye? Is there an alternative? Or if I want to stay away from chemicals, do I just have to go gray? So my answer to this is really like 100-fold. I could talk about this topic for hours. I'll start out by validating the fact that yes, there are a ton of really disgusting chemicals in hair dyes. They often have PPD, which is made from coal tar and has been linked to cancer. Ammonia is in hair dye, which is dangerous to the body in high levels. DMDM is a preservative that turns into formaldehyde, aka what we use to preserve dead bodies. It's also in herbicides, and it kills off multiple types of fungi, yeast, and bacteria, so who knows the extent of what it does to our cells. Parabens are in most hair and makeup products and are often linked to allergies and skin problems. And lead, y'all. Lead is in hair dye, and everyone knows that we shouldn't be consuming lead. And these are just really some of the chemicals that I recognized in a few of the ingredients lists, and it really goes on and on. So, like we talked about last week, your skin is your biggest organ, and you absolutely do absorb the things you put on it. So, care with topical products is really important. However, I'm not going to use this entire video to be a total killjoy. I love a good balayage as much as the next girl, and we're in Texas after all. Hair is important, okay? So here's my real world answer. If you're struggling with constant allergies or digestive issues or unexplained fatigue, aches and pains, do everything you can to improve your chemical burden. This looks totally different for everyone. I always, though, start with food. I use herbs and homeopathics and drainage and detox and remove major chemicals from the home. And if you're still struggling after you've done all of these things, then it might be time to reevaluate your hair coloring regimen. It's a personal choice. We all encounter chemicals in our life. You just have to kind of pick which ones are worth it for you and balance it out somewhere else. Coloring your hair once every 6 weeks, while not really good for you, probably won't kill you without the help of some other outside influences. So here's kind of a realistic middle ground. After a coloring session, I recommend taking activated charcoal for about 1 to 2 weeks to help leach out some of the chemicals. You can find this in pill form, but I find it way more effective as a drink. Many health food stores will have the charcoal in powder form for you to mix with water. FYI, this is a great detoxer for after any major chemical burden. However, I do not recommend doing this daily or long-term for the majority of people. So if you're using charcoal, you want to take it away from other medications as it can pull those from your system as well. And just kind of check in with your doc about how you're using it, how often, and those kind of things. You also want to really eat super clean and take in extra veggies, as well as double your water intake following a coloring session. Consider visiting a spa that has an infrared sauna afterwards to sweat it out. All these things will really, really help you detox and get rid of some of the stuff that, you kind of absorb with the hair dye. And for the infrared sauna thing, it's actually not as expensive and crazy as it sounds. There's a place down the street called Cure Cryo, and I believe it's under $30 for an infrared sesh. So it's really doable and really, really worth your time to do. As far as natural options for hair dye, I have to admit that I haven't tried any yet. I just kind of quit dyeing my hair a couple of years ago because it was easier and cheaper. So I can't really speak to the efficacy. I've heard of coffee or tea to cover grays and lemon and chamomile for highlights, but I've never actually used them personally, so I don't know if they're a really good option. So I want to ask you guys if you've had experience with these. Please comment below and help this community out. I'd love to hear from you and hear about your experiences, good or bad, with natural hair dyes. Funny stories are always welcome. So as always, send in your questions to info@hhcdallas.com, and I'll see you guys with another video next week.